day by day, the year 2024 is gradually grinding to a halt. I hope all the things that you wrote down at the beginning of the year, you've accomplished some of them, if not most of them. Welcome to Sport Africa. Of course, this is where, of course, we put everything in perspective regarding sport on the continent. My name remains Ashalulu Afemi. Apologies, we couldn't come last week, but of course, they say better late than never. We are here. James Agberi is here, and so much to give to you today on the show. James, you're welcome.
Yeah, thank you very much. I'm happy to be here.
So please don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Please click on that subscription button or subscribe button, whichever way. And please, you can also click on that notification button, so that you get the video as you get the alert on your phone or your device as soon as they are posted. James, let's get started. Of course, today we start in Ghana. I'm sure you've been following the issue of the ban on the Baba Yara Stadium. Now, the latest development is the fact that President Nana Akufo-Addo has called on the Minister of Sport in Ghana to provide a list of long-term plan for infrastructural development in terms of sport in the country. And quickly, I'll list out the stadium that, the stadiums that have been penned down. Of course, you have the Baba Yara Stadium, of course, Accra Sports Stadium, the University of Ghana Stadium, and of course, it's been said that the Tamale Stadium will be upgraded to FIFA standard AstroTurf. But James, we've talked about it, several times, on the show about the last AFCON qualifiers earlier this month. I think we had about 14 countries who couldn't play, in front of their fans, and the FIFA president Patrice Motsepe came out to slam why Africa has not, removed this mental blockade about, just do things anyhow. We do not have plan, we do not have focus, nothing. And now here is Ghana. And if this is not taken care of, Ghana have to choose where they will be playing their matches next month. But James, in this situation, who do you blame? Now, President Akufo-Addo has spent 8 years, I suppose. Now he's leaving. I think because Ghana, they are holding the presidential election this year. Now, why does the government in Ghana have to wait until CAF bans, not even FIFA, CAF now coming out to ban Baba Yara Stadium? Now, who do you blame in this instance? Would you say the sports stakeholders, the Minister of Sport, the Minister of Youth, and the likes of them in Ghana, or the government itself? Because people are trying to actually point a finger at who should take responsibility for this shame, because that is what a lot of football stakeholders in Ghana have called it, that Ghana would not have a stadium to host a CAF competition, not even a FIFA competition, a CAF competition. In this instance, who do you blame?
I mean, it's very difficult to pinpoint. I think for me, everybody is to blame. By the players, everybody should be blamed. The government, the sports ministry, everybody. But like I said, by the players. I mean, you shouldn't have gotten to this level. I don't think this should come as a surprise, because I remember there was a game the Black Stars played, and you saw the pitch. So that was an eye opener. So we would expect them to
2023 AFCON qualifier.
Yes, I mean it has been terrible. No matter how nice the structure is, the pitch. I mean, you don't expect, and at the end of the day, you see fans start insulting the players and everything, calling them names that they are not patriotic. They are not giving their all. I mean, how are you going to give your all when the people who are supposed to provide the enabling environment for you to do well? They just give you shabby things and they expect you to give your all. And once these guys get injured, they go back. It's the club side that will now bear the brunt. So for me, I can't say this person is responsible. That everybody, by the players, everybody should be blamed for this. I mean,
you're blaming the players too.
I said by the player, except the players, players.
Okay.
Because they are not in charge of stadium facilities, and they all need to make sure that everything is in place and they come in and play. But I mean, when these guys are exposed to surfaces that can injure them, that can ruin careers, I mean, and you expect them to give 100%. I mean, who's going to do that? So I mean, you're playing on pitches that that any slight miscalculation, you might end up getting injured. And the club side, they are not going to I mean, it's going to affect you. You lose your place in your club side. So like I said, everybody should be blamed for this. I mean, it shouldn't have gotten to this level. Ghana, one of the best football playing nation in Africa, they cannot. They trade that they might end up not playing their qualifiers at home. They're not talking of small nation. They're talking of Ghana, 4-time African champions. They're now thinking of where to play their qualifiers. Show me it has gotten that bad. I mean, it's a shameful thing. Everybody should be held responsible for this embarrassment. It's a national embarrassment, honestly. Because even Stephen Appiah had to come out and he also called it a national embarrassment. Because I've never heard of this kind of thing before. Ghana, they're thinking of playing their qualifiers outside Ghana. I mean, the Black Stars playing outside Ghana. It has never happened before. So I think maybe this is what that is needed for them to get serious.
James, I will still stay on this. Now, if not that CAF actually slammed this ban on Baba Yara Stadium, no one, I'm talking about the fact that no one would have known that the facility is in such a decaying or decrepit situation. And in Europe, the little I know is that the government, they perceive or they see some of these things as critical national asset. As a matter of fact, some of them, they go as far as declaring state of emergency in infrastructural development, because they know the essence, the importance of, having such a facility. James, at this point, where, for instance, on a weekend where you have a CAF qualifiers, you have over 10 countries playing away from their home fans. As a point where CAF will have to maybe set a standard or maybe even wielding that if as a country you do not have a facility good enough to host your competition, your games, you won't participate rather than having to allow countries play away from home. Maybe that is going to wake some of the governments up, because I think that is what it is getting to in Africa, because politicians in Africa, governments in Africa, they are only proactive. They are never proactive. They are only reactive. Do you think it has come to a point where before CAF competitions, CAF should go around maybe national federations who have registered, then look at their facilities? If it is not up to standard, they should be thrown out of the qualifiers. Maybe that will help us, get to a point where these countries will begin to deliberately develop their facilities. What do you think?
Yeah, I think I'll buy into that idea. I mean, before any qualifiers, I think there should be this directive for that your stadium is not up to this standard, the required standard. You're not going to take part in this. I think that's one way to bring out the seriousness in all these things, because some teams will now have to play away from home, and this thing can even give some teams an advantage, where a team that you are in the same group with some countries, and maybe two of the countries, they don't have a facility, they will now have to play their home games against one of the opponents. I think Morocco did it Liberia, and they played their home game against their opponents in their own stadium. So where's though it's not the fault of the other team, so I think they just have to take a stand now, and maybe that will, by the time you start throwing teams out of qualifiers, they will know that there are things that you just have to put in place. You can't continue like, look at the number of teams that are not playing their own games in their own country. They have to do
it's alarming.
All the way to another country. Okay, it's terrible. I can't recall the last time this kind of things happened. Maybe in one country, but now, you can count. There are things like Zimbabwe, Lesotho, teams that they can't play their own games right in their own country. They have to travel outside. And given the other teams, because even in the Super Eagles World Cup qualifying group, I think the likes of Lesotho, the Super Eagles have to play Zimbabwe in Rwanda. I think if I don't know the state of their stadium, if they are going to play their home game, they play against Rwanda for their home game. So it's like advantage Rwanda. So you are the others benefiting from this, So I think I like this idea. I think CAF should start clamping down on countries. If they're not ready to put your make it standard enough.
Don't come and register. Don't come and register.
Don't even bother to participate. So I think that may be that will bring out the seriousness in all these countries, because you cannot continue doing this and think it's proper. It's not proper at all.
I think I should pay us for consultancy, at least for that idea. James, let's come to Nigeria, because, see, I don't know, because this actually sounds a message to Nigeria as well, because if not for the Godswill Akpabio International Stadium right now, the Super Eagles will also not have it. I think, I don't know how people interpret some of these issues, but it is pure anathema. When you go to Europe, small countries like Macedonia, Lithuania, Latvia, playing their own games at home, even in European competitions, FIFA World Cup qualifiers. Then you have so-called giants of Africa like Nigeria and Ghana, almost there. Now, James, let's talk about the millions of, I don't know how much, that was pumped into the Abuja National Stadium. You remember before the 2022 World Cup playoff against the Black Stars. Now, talk about the millions, maybe in billions even, that have been sunk into the National Stadium in Lagos. And so there's been no development. There has been no update about where they've gone. And they've given the people the idea that corruption has set in. Even if the money they had finished or has finished, people do not even know what is going on, because everybody just keep quiet and move on. So I think for Nigeria, this is also a message, because by the time they use National Stadium, get to a bad situation of maybe out of terrible maintenance, the Eagles too might be looking for, maybe they might be playing their AFCON qualifiers in Eritrea or even Ethiopia.
Yeah, I mean, I think this was a narrative for Nigeria, and would have been a bigger disaster, because thank God for the Godswill Akpabio Stadium, but that's not the only big stadium we have in Nigeria. We have the National Stadium in Surulere. That one has been abandoned for years now. The last time,
that's what I'm saying. A lot of money was pumped into it, into renovation.
Yeah,
remember when the floodlights came down and all that?
Yeah. We've not heard anything about it. There's the Abuja National Stadium. Nothing has been said about it. We have
it's been shut right now
all over the country, but it's only the Godswill Akpabio Stadium that meets the requirement. I mean, this should serve as a warning also to Nigeria. These facilities. I mean, we should be proud that we have this facility, but our problem here is maintenance. I don't know why when it comes to maintenance, it's always a problem.
It's so easy. Corruption.
It's part of it. It's part of it, because you cannot have such structures and you think you are not going to maintain it. You have to keep maintaining it, because that's a massive structure. But by the time you start leaving things, that's why you need the proper belief. Most people always tell you that you have to privatize these structures, because when you have individuals who you see the best of it, but when it comes to government stuff, everybody is just free for all. So funny, like I say, corruption is part of it. So if we don't put all these things in order, maybe one day the Nigerian national team will find themselves in a situation whereby maybe they will be forced to go and play in Benin Republic, who is the closest to Nigeria, or Togo, or even Ghana, because the Ghanaians they come out and they are praying that they are praying that they don't come to play in Nigeria because they know when it comes, they will not hear the last of it. So that's the situation they found themselves. So, like I said, I think it's going to be a big lesson to Nigeria too. That look, if it can happen to Ghana, it can also happen to Nigeria. Ghana, they have good structures, but it's just that it got into a stage where they just abandoned some of these stadia and allow it to rot. You cannot do that.
Okay.
That you have functional national teams playing, so the earlier they learn about this and make sure they don't fall into the same trap like Ghana and the rest, the better for Nigeria.
Okay, I think where Nigeria is only better than Ghana in this situation is that Nigeria do not host political rallies on pitches, but Ghana, I think we should go for to Ghana for holding political events on pitches, grass. It's sad. James, let's still remain with Nigeria. Let's talk about the Super Eagles of Nigeria, because it seems the NFF has relented in their quest to search for foreign technical advisor for the Super Eagles. And as a matter of fact, I think Gabon is making them do that because of the recent results in the 2025 AFCON qualifiers. Now, the call has continued to grow to the NFF to allow Gabon to continue. You know, array of players. Recently, I spoke to one of the former Super Eagles player, Mutiu Adepoju, and he said, why not allow him continue? Now, James, do you also buy into the same idea? Though others are saying that no, because they remember what happened in 2021 AFCON, where Nigeria won their 3 group games, they lost to Tunisia in the round of 16. Do you think the NFF should allow Gabon to continue? And I think I should also state that recently, Bruno Labbadia, you know, there are some statements that have been attributed to him on social media. But some people have said that it appears that Instagram account is fake. The producer is pulling it up right now. It seems the Instagram handle is fake. But what do you think? Do you think Gabon should be allowed to continue, James? Or we should look for a permanent foreign manager?
Femi, I think at this point, we just allow him to continue. I mean, judging by what the team achieved in the past window, the international window, a win and a draw, you know, and with a clean sheet, you know. So for me, that's a good one. Because, I mean, these are the same people who come out and say they don't have money to pay foreign coaches. I mean, look at the last one with the German coach, Lavadia. Sorry. I mean, the embarrassment. So instead of going through that route, you can just stick with him. I think the problem the Super Eagles have is they have the material. They just need a decent coach. They just knock them in shape, put them together, and they are good to go. I mean, I think it was evident in the 2 games Eguavoen, and Eguavoen is not a totally terrible coach. You just I think what people are holding against him is the World Cup qualifier against Ghana. I think that's just because this is somebody who almost qualified Nigeria for the 2006 World Cup. It's because of the head-to-head against Angola. That was one
Angola. Yeah.
I think if people, and a lot of people have forgotten that Eguavoen still remains the only coach from Nigeria that got a victory in Algeria. No Nigerian coach has ever done it. It's either a draw. They've nobody. I remember it was a 5-2 victory during the World Cup qualifier 2006, but unfortunately it was not enough to give the Super Eagles the ticket. So he almost took the Super Eagles to the World Cup, and he got to the AFCON and he got third. You know, so he's somebody who has been there and seen it all. So for me, he's not a totally bad coach. You know, if he's what he did the last time is to be judged. I mean, we are so tired of this issue of we are owing coaches, this and that. I mean, causing distraction here and there. If you have somebody who has started off well, then allow him to continue the job. I mean, if the players too can come out and say they are okay with it, then fine, allow it. But instead of this distraction and we are going to appoint a coach today, no, we are not going to appoint another coach. And at the end of the day, you know that the coach will still come out and complain about money. Then look at what's it called? Jose Pesero came out the last time. I was saying it was so stressful that he had to call it quit to the Super Eagles, that the stress and everything was just too much. So it shows that it's not easy to handle the Super Eagles at all. I think the local coach, they can still adapt because it's an in-house team, so they understand the system. But for a foreigner, I mean, it's never going to be easy.
I think maybe Pesero should have said the pressure because he wasn't even living in Nigeria. So, in my opinion, I think whatever pressure he talks about, he actually puts it on himself. James, let's talk about how Nigerian teams perform on the continent over the weekend. Were you disappointed in Rangers, you know, failing to qualify against Sagrada Esperanza of Angola? Were you disappointed?
For me, I wasn't disappointed because year out now I've zeroed my mind. I'm not really interested in what Nigerian clubs are, what they do on the continent, because at the end of the day, you know, they go far.
The end from the beginning.
Doing it year in, year out. They've been just get to the group stage and that is it. The last time the Nigerian clubs were played in the final of the Champions League was 2010. That's how many years ago. You know, since then we've not seen anything. I mean, they just go there, mark the register, and come back. Thank God for anybody that managed to get to the group stage on penalties. So it goes to show that, I mean, it's like we don't even take this competition serious anymore. We don't. I mean, the performance is so terrible now that if they decide to take a slot from Nigeria, I mean, it will be deserved. If CAF decide to say, okay, because of the performance of Nigerian club side, we have to reduce the number of teams that come from. I mean, you will not be able to argue with them because based on the performance that we've been seeing, they've been so
Absolutely.
terrible. So terrible that anytime they go to the continent, if 4 teams go into the continent, only one team will manage to get to the group stage, and we judge by the
That'll be
grace
the
of
end.
God. That will be the end. So there's no improvement, nothing. They're just there just to just make up the numbers, and you know at the end of the day they will crash out. Anybody just to think that fine, the experience side, but I think that bug has caught up with them. They get to the latter stage. At the end of the day, they will just. It's like they don't have the mentality, they don't have the idea, they don't have the knowledge about continental football anymore. So it's very sad. So for me, a good one for them, they qualify. But for me, I don't have any higher expectation that anytime soon we are going to win any continental trophy. It's that bad for the Nigerian clubs.
Yeah, well said, James. Of course, if you have to break down the reason for the poor performances of Nigerian teams on the continent, I think we'll spend the whole day right here. Of course, we are expecting a CAF very soon to release the list of nominees for the 2024 CAF Player of the Year. Of course, someone who's going to succeed Victor Osimhen is Wolo Osimhen. They handed the title once again. Ademola Lookman, Victor Boniface, Mohamed Salah, of course, Sergio Guirassy, and of course, some after say Ibrahim, she also Ibrahim Diaz, I should say, should also be in that list. So we are waiting for CAF. These names I've just revealed that they are the favorites. So not of course. First of all, release a lot will be cut down to the final 5, the final 3. So of course, we are expecting CAF to do that very, very soon. James Agrevi, thank you so much for your thoughts on the show today. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much. See you next time.
Okay, so of course we are waiting to see how Ghana are going to address this issue. If they are going to quickly put in maybe a measure to quickly renovate the Baba Yara Stadium ahead of next month's games, or if they will choose somewhere to play their own games. But really, it's something that we shouldn't even be talking about in 21st century. But like they say, it is what it is. Please don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Click on that notification button so that you get the video as soon as they drop. We'll see you next time. I remain Ashalulu Afemi. Have a fantastic and fabulous week ahead. Bye for now.